affordable, quality childcare, youth development programs, and food support, as well as assistance during the holidays. None of this would be possible without an abundance of volunteers, the support of the Department of Defense, and thanks for all of you from DoD or DOW that are with us today, and the unwavering backing that we have from our sponsors and our donors, two of which are highlighted today. One is USAA, that'll speak to you in a minute, and the other one's American Airlines. And the third one's really AUSA, who's our co-sponsor or, or the host for this event. So thank you all for joining us today. And now the most important thing I have to do is introduce my boss, the chairman of the Armed Services YMCA, the CEO of AUSA, our co-host for this event. Please help me welcome General Robert Brown.
Thanks, sir. I don't know about boss. We all do whatever Admiral French says, you know, so. But thanks, Bill. Really appreciate it. So on behalf of the National Board of Directors of Armed Services YMCA, by the way, many of whom are here, how about stand up if you're on the Board of Directors, if you would, please? Folks, here we go. Yep, look at this. They do a ton behind the scenes working hard. So thanks for being here. I really want to congratulate the winners this year and express, our gratitude for your incredible service, as Admiral French mentioned. We're really honored to host this annual event and pay tribute to our brothers and sisters in arms who perform at the highest levels and in the toughest of conditions, no doubt about it. Anyone who's ever been lucky enough to wear the uniform of the United States military knows just how important these folks are. They are often called upon to react quickly in chaotic scenes, unbelievable scenarios, and they provide life-saving treatment. And without hesitation, quite simply, they save lives and help our military get home to our loved ones. And I know, just from personal experience, folks would not do what they do, put themselves in harm's way, if they didn't know they were going to get the best medical care, just first class. And so we're just grateful for what they do. So please enjoy today's awards ceremony. Rest assured that while you have the backs of your fellow soldiers, sailors, Marines, airmen, Coast Guardsmen, and Guardians, the Armed Services YMCA has your families back. And they do everything from provide childcare to travel assistance, food support, and really proud all that Armed Services YMCA does for the families out there. As Admiral French mentioned, since 1861. Holy smokes, pretty amazing. So thanks. Don't hesitate to reach out. And again, thanks for being here to help us honor these amazing leaders. Back to you, Bill.
Thank you very much, General Brown. So echoing both Admiral French and General Brown, we could not do the work we do at Armed Services YMCA without the generous support of our corporate partners. Our title sponsor for today's event is USAA, a longstanding supporter of Armed Services YMCA. So please bring your attention to the screen for a message from USAA.
A promise is a trust not to be broken.
I say your name.
Whether spoken with an oath,
Do solemnly swear.
It's your first day. You know I got your back, right?
or sealed with a pinky. In 1922, a group of soldiers launched USAA with a promise to take care of their own. And after more than 100 years, we're still taking care of the military community and their families. That's our mission. Always.
I'd like to recognize the USAA team that's with us here today. If you could all stand, please. And especially I'd like to recognize Colonel Kevin Capper, United States Army, retired, and offer him the chance to say a few words. Thank you.
I didn't have too many plans, but to make remarks today. But as an old boss told me, never pass up the opportunity to give a speech or hold a meeting. But on behalf of our CEO, Juan Andrade, I wanted to say thank you very much to the ASYMCA. Congratulations to those of you award winners today. It's incredibly impressive. But we are very proud also of our nearly 20-year sponsorship of the ASYMCA because of what you do and how our missions are intertwined. Proudly serving those who serve and strengthening our military families in what you do, and especially the most vulnerable populations. And you don't always recognize what you have until you really need it. And what you guys are doing with the ASYMCA to take care of that vulnerable population, to provide the support, the food pantries, especially at this point, the childcare, and what incredibly amazing initiatives that you have going. But we're very proud to be a sponsor of this event, and just want to pass on my congratulations to the winners, and thanks again for all you do at the ASYMCA to take care of our families.
Thank you very much, Kevin. I would now like to next thank our platinum sponsor, American Airlines, not only for their continued support, but also for ensuring that the family of our Coast Guard Angel, the Coast Guard Angel is actually forward deployed right now and unable to join us in person, but his family is here with us. And I thank American Airlines for making that happen. Please direct your attention to the screen for a short message from American.
Hi there.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your service.
I think it's really important for American Airlines to support the men and women who serve our country. With a name like American Airlines on the side of our airplanes and with the red, white, and blue on our tails, if we're not doing this, supporting the men and women who are willing to go overseas and fight and die for their country, we're just not living up to our name.
So thank you. We are joined here today by American Airlines in the person of Randy Stillinger, who is not only a board member of Armed Services YMCA, but also a colonel in the United States Army Reserve. Randy. As Admiral French mentioned earlier, we hold the Angels of the Battlefield Awards every year in order to recognize some of the bravest among us, the men and women who don't flinch when they hear the words medic up. They often run towards danger, not away from it, and they're put in some of life's most difficult and daunting situations, but they still come every time. And that's why we do this every year. Now to present this year's honorees. We have immense admiration for this year's class of Angels who serve in so many different capacities and take on so many different responsibilities to support both the military and civilians, both here at home and abroad. These awards specifically recognize the courage, quick action, and selfless nature of these first responders, whether they are medics, corpsmen, airmen, Coast Guardsmen, paramedics, EMTs. Since 2006, the Armed Services YMCA has honored 87 Angels of the Battlefield, and today we're very thrilled to be able to introduce 6 more. General Brown and Admiral French will assist our esteemed presenters from each branch of service and the Defense Health Agency in handing out this year's Angels of the Battlefield Awards. We will present these awards in the order of creation of the branch of service as recognized by the Department of Defense. So we begin with the United States Army. General Rainey.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here on behalf of the Army Surgeon General, Lieutenant General Mary Izagari. Thank you for recognizing soldiers and others who have done great things. Certainly, Armed Forces YMCA, USA, as well as American Airlines. And American Airlines, thanks for helping get my wife home last night from Dallas, safe and sound. So we do appreciate that. So thanks for recognizing our soldier. So you can see in the program what our soldier did. So I'm not going to go into a lot of detail as far as the acts that he did in saving lives during a potential fire that could have significantly impacted a large number of people. What I want to talk about quickly is who our soldier is. And my hope is that every soldier faced or given the same circumstances in the same situation would do the same thing that Sergeant Izagari did. But we don't know that. But we do know what our soldier did. We do know what our sergeant did. He stepped forward during that time of need. He's a soldier that embraces Army values. He lives our Army values, especially if you look at selfless service and courage. So thank you. He is a 68 Juliet. Anybody know what that is? 68 Juliet within the Army? Of course, our Sergeant Major does. 68 Juliet is a medical logistics NCO. His life is about making sure people have what they need every day. He is an owner of our mission. And as you look at what he did, that is evidence that shows he's not just an owner. He's someone who it will always be his job to do what needs to be done, no matter what the circumstances. He stepped forward in a time of need. He didn't have to. It's certainly not in the job description of a 68 Juliet, but it is in the job description of a soldier to do what needs to be done in the time of need for our fellow man, for our nation. So I want to say thanks for your actions, not just on that day when you prevented perhaps significant loss of life, but what you do every day. And we know why you do it. You do it for the people around you. The other reason you do it is because of the person that sits to your right now. So Paula, I want to say thank you to you for what you do for our soldier so they can do what they need to do in support of our nation. So let's recognize the soldier now. Thank you. Just as a warning, this thing is not for you,
Thank you so much, sir. Gentlemen, ladies, I'm truly humbled to accept this award. It means the world to me, especially coming from such an incredible organization, the Armed Forces YMCA. Thank you so much for the recognition. I would like to take the opportunity to express my gratitude to my great leadership and team at Walter Reed Medical Center, HAC Troop Command, Capital Medics, some of them in attendance right now, Commander Walker, Master Sergeant Kelsey, First Sergeant Hathcock, and Colonel Malloy, to all my mentors and colleagues, Staff Sergeant Tolliver, and Kevin Outman, Your guidance and confidence keeps pushing me further than I ever thought I could go. To my beautiful wife, my rock, Paula, thank you for always keeping me in check. And finally, I would like to thank the Lord Jesus Christ for putting me in the right place and the right moment that early morning of April. This award isn't just mine, it belongs to everyone who's inspired, challenged, and stood by me, reminding me to always do the right thing, even when I know that nobody else is watching. But most importantly, for giving me the tools of knowledge to be ready and to know how to observe, assess, and respond in an emergency situation. I promise to keep working hard, learning, and giving back to the Army, my community, and my country. Thank you again. Let's keep making great things happen together.
Well, thank you very much, General Rainey, for presenting, and especially to Sergeant Irizarry for being there and accepting that award. Now we move to the United States Marine Corps. And to recognize and present the Marine Corps Angel of the Battlefield Award to a Navy Hospital Corpsman, I'd like to introduce Rear Admiral Guido Valdez.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to be here today to recognize a truly exceptional sailor, Hospital Corpsman First Class Charles Cayley. Originally from La Mirada, California, HM1 Cayley serves as a Special Operations Independent Duty Corpsman with Marine Special Operations Team 8142 and has completed 2 combat deployments to AFRICOM. His actions in the field have not only saved lives, they have defined what it means to serve with courage, skill, and unwavering dedication. On November 6, 2024, while conducting counterterrorism operations, HM1 Cayley flew into a hostile landing zone under enemy fire to triage and treat 30 wounded personnel. His calm under pressure, rapid medical intervention, and en route care directly contributed to the survival of 20 casualties. Again, on January 1st, 2025, he coordinated a critical CASEVAC, triaged and wounded, and led resuscitation efforts, all while guiding his team through chaos with precision and resolve. These are not just acts of bravery, they are acts of humanity. HM1 Cayley's actions reflect the ideals of the Hospital Corps and the United States Navy. He is a quiet professional, a battlefield leader, and now rightfully an angel of the battlefield. HM1 Cayley, your service humbles us and your courage inspires us. Your legacy will live on in the lives you've saved and the warriors you've stood beside and will continue to stand beside. On behalf of your command, your fellow service members, the United States Marine Corps, and a grateful nation, congratulations. You have truly earned this honor as the angel of the battlefield for the United States Marine Corps. Congratulations. Thank you.
All right, good morning, everyone. It is an incredible honor to stand here today and accept this award. My deepest thanks to the Armed Services YMCA for this recognition and for the unwavering support that you provide to service members and their families. Thank you to Rear Admiral Valdez for presenting this award, and Master Chief Naknechki, as well as Master Chief Medina, for making the trip. It means a great deal to have you all here in support. I also want to thank Chief Rogers and Senior Chief Rangel for their leadership and guidance as a young SOIDC. Your mentorship has set the standard for how I strive to serve daily. And to the men of 1st Marine Raider Battalion and MARSOC, thank you for trusting me with your care and your mission. Thank you for nominating me for this award. It is the greatest honor of my career to serve alongside you. And last but not least, I'd like to thank my wife, Kaylee, and my family, my mom, Cora, and my aunt, Becky, for coming out here, for your patience and support through multiple deployments. You know, I couldn't do it without you. Thank you.
It's a very well-deserved honor, Pastor Kaylee. Congratulations, and thank you also again to Admiral Valdez. Our next recipient is a hospital corpsman representing the United States Navy. And to present this award, I welcome to the podium Rear Admiral Robert Hawkins.
Well, good morning, and appreciate the opportunity to recognize HM3 Eckenboy, Katie. You know, one of the things that I think her actions represent are what every corpsman and medic exists for. We've heard it a few times this morning already, but it is to respond in a time of great need and under duress, and sometimes without warning. Let me talk a little bit about what she did. She's out in town in her apartment, asleep. Here's gunshots. Can you imagine that to begin with, just thinking about that? She's in her apartment. She's safe. She's a corpsman. What does she do? Middle of the night. No warning. Runs out to the parking lot. Responds to somebody injured by gunshots. Stabilizes them. They scoop them up, run them to Naval Medical Center Portsmouth because it's the closest trauma center because she lives right outside the gate. But think about that. She got up in the middle of the night. Gunfire. This is Portsmouth, folks. Guess what she doesn't know? Where's the gunman? Where's the gunman? She did it anyway. She didn't think about it. That tells me about her character. Thanks to her parents. You raised a good one. You can't teach character. Well done, Katie. Because I know on the battlefield, when the sailor, airman, Marine, soldier, Space Force person, Coast Guardsman is down, you're going to be up without regard for your own safety. Thanks for doing it. So let's recognize her.
Hello. I don't have anything written because I've been practicing this speech since I found out in June on deployment. So, first thing I want to say is congratulations to everyone who is online who couldn't make it. Congratulations to you. H1, congratulations, Sergeant. Absolutely. First thing I want to say is thank you to my God. God himself is who put the courage in me to be able to respond. Without him, I would not be the person I am today. So, my God, great God, I thank him. Second, thank you to the Armed Services YMCA. Sorry, guys. Thank you for putting this all together. I know this was not an easy thing to do given our state right now. So, thank you all for putting this together and getting us all here. Next, thank you to my chain of command. They were the ones that nominated me, but not only them, I want to shout out H1 Benson. H1 Benson won this award back in 2022, and H1 Benson was actually my core school instructor. So if it wasn't for what he did in the classroom, I wouldn't have been able to respond the way I did. He was my foundation. So he was the one that actually reached out to my chain of command at the hospital. So I wouldn't have been able to be here if it wasn't for him, starting from the classroom up until him helping with my nomination. Next, I want to thank Bryce. Bryce is my boyfriend. I found out that I won this on deployment with him in Panama. Um, it was the hospital corpsman's birthday when we were supposed to be in the galley. They were doing a cake thing. I was on my Outlook on my email, emailing my mom with Bryce, and I was there right with him. So I was able to celebrate with him, and he just got out of the Navy. So thank you to his service, and for him coming out here. And last, people want to thank my mom and dad, because if it wasn't for them instilling that I need to do the right thing when no one's watching, even at 2:45 a.m., um, that guy would not be alive. That was something I was able to. I had the opportunity to work alongside that gentleman's nurses and doctors on the deployment that I did with the USNS Comfort back over the summertime. And I was notified directly from the people that continued the care that I started out on the, high street in Portsmouth, um, that the chest seals I placed were a direct impact on his survivability. So, mom, dad, I wouldn't have been able to do it without you. Dad, those chest seals were yours. So, yeah, that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Admiral Hawkins, and especially Pastor Eckenboy. And I want to talk about the chest heals after this event. I got to hear more about that. Well, unfortunately, for reasons beyond their control, neither our Air Force Angel nor our presenter are able to join us here today. So, on behalf of Brigadier General Dr. Evelyn Yao, I'd like to just relay a few words about the Air Force Angels so you have an appreciation for what that individual did to earn this award. Staff Sergeant Mendenhall hails from a proud Air Force family. His grandfather and two brothers also served our country with distinction, and that legacy of service shaped his character and commitment, leading to the events on April 17th of 2025, when he demonstrated extraordinary heroism while off duty when he witnessed a serious motor vehicle accident just outside his base. One of the vehicles had rolled over, and without hesitation, Staff Sergeant Mendenhall approached the scene where he discovered a person trapped in their seatbelt but still alert. Working alongside a passing civilian, he helped free the individual from the wreckage and move them to safety, then assessed their injuries as best he could, contacted emergency responders, who relayed later that because of his quick thinking and his calmness under response under pressure and his decisive medical action, a life was saved that day. So please join me in applauding Staff Sergeant Mendenhall for his courage and dedication and being a shining example of the best that our Air Force has to offer. Our next award goes to a United States Coast Guardsman. Petty Officer First Class Hunter J. Ince, an advanced special operator and emergency medical technician who is joining us via Zoom today. And I'm sure he's going to come up on screen momentarily, along with Rear Admiral Shane Steiner, representing the Coast Guard. We are also joined today by Petty Officer Ince's parents, Jimmy Ince and Amy Long. And I'd like to relay, first I'm going to turn it over to Shane Steiner, Admiral Steiner, for some brief remarks. So before we do the photograph and the remarks from Petty Officer Ince, I'd like to read what he did do to earn this award as nominated by his chain of command. So Petty Officer Ince, we're honoring you today while you are serving abroad with the Maritime Security Response Team. You've been deployed abroad in numerous dangerous and urgent situations, often operating in remote areas and on isolated islands. Time and again, you've responded to distress calls in the most high threat environments. And on one occasion in particular, Petty Officer Ince arrived in the midst of gunfire where he immediately triaged critically injured and critically wounded officers who were suffering from gunshot and explosive injuries. His decisive, calm, and skillful actions that day directly saved 3 lives. Professor Ince's incredible heroism and ability to perform under fire provided emergent and expert medical care in the most intense conditions and were truly inspiring. So please join me in recognizing Petty Officer Ince, and we'll turn it over to him after a little bit of applause for some remarks. Over to you, Petty Officer Ince. Now, if Mr. Ince and Mrs. Long could join us up for the presentation of the award. Thank you very much. The final honoree today represents a category added to the Angels Awards just 2 years ago and goes to a member of the Defense Health Agency's civilian medical personnel. And to share more about this civilian honoree, I'd like to introduce Dr. David Smith, the Acting Principal Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Health Affairs and the Acting Director of the Defense Health Agency. Dr. Smith?
Well, good morning to everybody. It's an honor to be representing the Defense Health Agency and our joint team of DoD civilians and service members who serve military medicine worldwide. And I want to thank Admiral French and the Armed Services YMCA for hosting the ceremony. A highlight for all of us really in military medicine every year. So we really do appreciate it. Thank you, Bill. And I also want to thank you for recognizing our civilian workforce who work side by side with our armed brothers and sisters. There's about 140,000-ish that work military medicine, and 60,000 of those are civilians. So about 40% of the workforce is actually civilians. So I think doing that recognition is only apropos, and so we really do appreciate you adding that to the recognition. And I think the civilian angel of the battlefield is a great example of the type of public servants that we find in our unique system. And I'm honored this year to be able to speak about our civilian angel, Miss Letitia Nolan, who's a nurse serving now at the medical squadron at Andrews Air Force Base in the National Capital Region. But, you know, Miss Nolan sort of embodies the selfless service you find in our civilian workforce, and her career trajectory, you would make it hard to differentiate her path from those in uniform. For example, over her 16 years, Letitia has served around the world as a registered nurse. She spent 2 assignments, one in Kadena and in Misawa Air Base in Japan for a total of 6 years, and then 2 years at Lakenheath Air Base in the United Kingdom, and finally here at Andrews now for the last 8 years. And she's been an exceptional professional. throughout her career and has been recognized as the Nurse of the Year, I think, for 3 different commands over the course of uh, that great tenure. And in 2023, however, she went above and beyond all of that service I just talked about with her, where she witnessed a horrific accident that was occurring for a victim who had suffered a massive head trauma and bleeding. And with little regard for her own safety, Miss Nolan rushed to the scene, assessed the patient, and found him in cardiac arrest with no pulse. She does carry around her own resuscitation mask at all times to be always prepared to do this, but she immediately anointed a bystander to call 911 to get that going, and she initiated CPR. And after about 4 rounds of CPR, the victim regained consciousness and miraculously survived. Miss Nolan personally suffered lacerations and burns on her hands during the event at the accident scene, but never once allowed that to interfere with her life-saving actions. And without her presence and rapid response, the victim would not have survived his injuries. Now, everyone in this room knows there are many ways to serve your country. But Letitia, your dedication to nursing, to public service, and to our service members and families has been absolutely extraordinary. While the singular incident that I highlighted today is memorable and important, we are grateful to have you on our team every day. And I am deeply honored and privileged to be able to present the 2025 Civilian Angel of the Battlefield Award to Miss Letitia Nolan.
You made it so easy on me because you didn't have anything planned, so I appreciate you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much. I'm simply honored and just totally humbled to be here this morning to receive this award, the Angel on the Battlefield Award. This recognition is not just about me. It's about every person who steps forward in moments of crises, who chooses compassion when it's hardest, and who brings hope where it's needed the most. I want to thank DHA and YMCA Armed Forces for this amazing opportunity and for this incredible honor. And to my colleagues, my supervisor, Dr. Ritchie, and Staff Sergeant Rollins, who's not here physically, but is here in spirit with me, that put this together and put me in for this package. I truly appreciate you guys. I have some of my HCOS people here in the building. I appreciate y'all's support in coming out today. Um, I have 3 beautiful children that I love with everything in me. Um, they are in school because they're all AP honors students and they refuse to miss class. So, I let them have it. So, my father, who's not here, who's in Louisiana, who I love dearly, who's always been my rock. I love you, Daddy. He's always been my biggest supporter. Thank you to my best friend who's here with me today, retired Major Percy Hargrove, who's always in my corner for support and kicking me along and saying, "You can do it. Keep pushing. You inspire me every day. I love you." Um, Thank you for this honor and for reminding me why we do what we do. Um, this award just really reminds me of the kindness and courage, that those things matter. even when we feel that people um, um, don't see what we do or may not recognize what we do. I love the profession of nursing. I've been a nurse for 30 years, in the medical field for almost 30 years, um, and my love for it has never wavered. I love the bedside. I love taking care of people. So I feel very blessed and very honored to be in this profession. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Smith. And again, congratulations to Ms. Nolan. As we close today's event, it is important that we also recognize and honor the honorees' loved ones that are with us in person and also their friends and family watching on live stream. So thank you all, the family members, for being here and being part of your service members' lives. Let's give our honorees one more round of applause, please. Finally, I'd like to say thank you again to USAA and all of today's sponsors for making this event possible. This concludes the 19th Annual Angels of the Battlefield Awards Ceremony, and we invite you to join us for a reception in the adjoining room. Thank you.